Hey now, what is up everybody? My name is Mike Brown, aka ReviewKingMB, and like 2 years ago I did some reviews for movies for Black History Month. This year I decided to do it once again. But this time I'm first picking Shaft. I'm not talking about the original from 1971. I've never seen that movie. I wasn't really interested in watching that. I wanted to watch the newest one from the year 2000, Shaft, directed by John Singleton. It stars Samuel L. Jackson as John Shaft. Now the plot is we see Mekhi Phifer show up to this restaurant with a bunch of his friends, and he gets heckled. He gets harassed by young, rich, and spoiled Christian Bale, who is just being an absolute dick to him, who's saying some of the most racist things. So Mekhi Phifer gets him back, embarrasses him in front of the whole place, steps outside. Christian Bale, embarrassed, attacks him, kills him. So Sam Jackson, Shaft, he shows up to this and spends the whole movie trying to get Christian Bale's character to pay for this, to face justice, to do time in prison, like to get the just due that he deserves. But because he is rich, because he does have connections, because he can pay people off and skirt the country when he has to, he's the hardest guy in order to convict. So Shaft, he gets desperate. He does some underhanded, undercover tactics in order to get to him. Now, what I thought of Shaft was, I enjoyed the movie. I did. Now, did I love it? Am I over the moon of it? Am I running around telling everybody I know that you have to watch it? I guess not. Like, I didn't love it that much, but I enjoyed enough of it. For somebody who's never seen the original movies, just jumping right into this one, I knew very little about the character. I know the obvious things, the things that people would sort of joke about or spoof or parody, the catchphrases, the one-liners, the music. He's a bad mother, shut your mouth. I'm just talking about Shaft. Everybody knows that type of stuff. But to watch Sam Jackson play this character and the charisma that goes along with it, and how all the women are sort of flocking to him, and how he is a badass. He is a guy that seems like he's 10 steps ahead of everyone. He knows what he's doing. He doesn't take any shit from anyone. Like, he embodies that. And in some ways, I love that about it. And in other ways, you never really feel danger for him. You never really feel like something bad is going to happen to him. I don't think there was a scene where he was in peril at all. So in that way, maybe not great, but in everything else, he was great. Christian Bale, I want to talk about. He plays Walter Wade Jr. And this is the same year that American Psycho came out. And I know he was a child actor. He did a couple things when he was a kid. But this year seems to be the year where he got really back in there. And to see him play this racist dude, this rich dude, was amusing and funny, but also I thought it was great. Even the one scene where Shaft outsmarts him and gets him into a jail cell with a bunch of other inmates, at least overnight, and he's in there, and this big black dude comes over and says, "Let me get your shoes." And Christian Bale's like, "They wouldn't fit you." And then the guy punches him, looks like he's about to bitch him out, and Christian Bale punches him in the balls, beats him up, stomps on his face, and says, "You want my shoes?" He's capable. He's not a character that gets bitched out. And then you see him interact with this other criminal-like character, Peoples Hernandez, played by Jeffrey Wright, which was interesting because I've always known Jeffrey Wright, at least I thought of him to be a black guy. Every movie I've seen him in more recent years, I just was like, oh yeah, he's a black guy. A mulatto, maybe. So seeing him play straight out Hispanic here made me go, what? So I looked him up, and he is part Hispanic. He's not full Hispanic. A part of me is like you couldn't just cast a full Spanish dude to play this, but acting-wise, Jeffrey Wright was great. You believe that he is this dude and everything that he puts into it. Busta Rhymes, yes, Busta Rhymes, and he's not a good actor. He's not. I almost, at this point, when I see him in a movie, even if it's an older movie, I'm like, why did you put him in here? I know he's a name. I know they want to put rappers and recognizable faces into these types of movies, but he's just not good. He's not. He's so over the top. He's so annoying. Whatever. I like his music. I guess that's enough. Mekhi Phifer, like I mentioned, is at the beginning of the movie. I was surprised he was in such a small part, but it is significant to the plot. I was also surprised that when you see him at the restaurant with his friends, his white friends, one of them is played by Elizabeth Banks, who doesn't have a speaking part. She doesn't say anything. She's just in the background interacting with all of them. And I'm like, wow, there she is. She's even credited. Because once again, I never saw the originals. I didn't have a connection to them. And for years, this movie came out when I was like 10 years old. So for years, I always just assumed that this was a remake or a reboot or whatever you want to call it. But to see Richard Roundtree show up and you find out that this is actually a sequel, that Samuel L. Jackson's Shaft is the nephew to his original Shaft. So the original Shaft is in this movie. He's just older. He's just that teacher and mentor type, and Sam Jackson's just the nephew who has picked up the mantle, picked up all of the catchphrases and the suaveness, and he's just continuing on the Shaft legacy, I guess, the family heirloom. It's like the Black Panther name and the title that gets passed down generation to generation. It's sort of funny in that way, but it's smart. It makes sense to not just flat out remake it and to have some sort of connection. But if you're someone like me who hasn't seen the original, it doesn't matter a whole lot. You can still think of this as its new own thing. So once again, I didn't love the movie. It's not the greatest thing ever, but I enjoyed it enough. I had a good time watching it. I enjoyed certain moments of the movie and certain actors, seeing them do what they were doing. Anyways, guys, let me know in the comments below if you too have seen the newer Shaft. What did you think of it? Have you seen the original? Let's compare the two. Tell me about the original. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Later!
Got a goal in mind, can't stop till I reach that the gold is mine. No feet up, seat back, music, I breathe that, sleep that, eat that. Ease back is pretty close, leading the pack, cause it is like snacks, a little to hold you over light work to me, but opponents under a bullet.